Standard 7th, Subject Geography, Chapter 10, Human Settlements. Dear students, in this chapter, let us learn about human settlements. The human settlements flourished at places with favorable geographic conditions such as availability of water, a conducive climate, fertile land, etc. So, wherever human beings found such favorable geographic conditions, they built their houses. So, this way settlements flourished. In the early settlements, the occupations of the people were dependent on the locally available natural resources. This gave rise to separate settlements of people engaged in a particular occupation. For example, people along the seacoast are engaged in fishing. Their settlements became fishing hamlets, also called as kolivada. Forest dwellers or tribal people use forest produce for their livelihood. They live in forest areas in tribal hamlets called the Adivasi Padas. Agriculture is practiced in fertile areas. Farmer families build their houses in or near their fields. These settlements gradually grow bigger. The settlements where the original occupations of the majority of the people are based on natural resources are called rural settlements, as in the settlements in the villages. Agriculture, fishery, etc. are some of these occupations. With the passage of time, other associated occupations also develop gradually in these rural settlements. As a result, people from surrounding areas migrate and settle there, leading to an increase in the rural population. Houses are built and different facilities are developed for the growing population. Importance of secondary and tertiary occupation increases. Secondary occupation mainly involves manufacturing, like trading and all. And tertiary means providing some kind of services like transportation, etc. The proportion of people engaged in primary occupations hence declines. This process leads to the transformation of rural settlements into urban settlements. Due to religious, historical, commercial, educational, and administrative reasons, and also due to tourism, the original settlement may transform into an urban one. If the population and the necessary amenities increase on a large scale, the urban areas grow into metropolitan cities. Now look at this figure or the diagram shown here. What is the difference between the human settlements at A over here and B over here? We see that at A there is a water body close to it, whereas B is close to the roadside and they are in a straight line, okay, parallel to the road. What is the difference between B and C? You can see here on top C, very few houses, or rather only one house you can see here. So where do you find less than two houses? Definitely at C. In what type of settlement do you live? You yourself have to decide now. Yes, mostly you will say by the roadside, B, or perhaps next to a water body also. So, after considering various settlements, we realize that people settle down in different geographical conditions and adopt themselves to the conditions in the region. Patterns of human settlements evolved in accordance with the natural conditions. In this lesson, we are going to study the major patterns of human settlements and the reasons behind them. Using resources from the surroundings, man constructed houses and started living in them in the modern era of science and technology. People have made a remarkable progress in the construction of shelter. They have even built skyscrapers, as you see in the picture here. Man is thinking of constructing colonies on other planets and their satellites in future. So this much man has made progress. Settlements have provided man with stability. Rural settlement is the first step towards a stable life in human history. Urban settlements have evolved through the expansion and growth of rural settlements. A certain way of life is preserved in rural settlements. Increase in the population of rural settlements is the beginning of urbanization. That means when the populations start increasing in rural settlements, they move towards urbanization. That is a city life. Life in urban settlements is more dynamic. There are large scale economic correlations between rural and urban settlements. So we see as there is though there is a difference between the rural and urban settlements we can say are largely dependent on the rural settlements. The day to day food requirements of the urban population is fulfilled by rural settlements. Modernization, science, and technology lead to transformation in both types of settlements. The type of settlements and the characteristics of the distribution can be described as A, you can see nucleated means very densely populated. Linear means the one you see in B, which is in a straight line along the roadside, parallel to the road. And C is scattered means you will see the houses far away from each other. So let's study them in detail. We shall begin with scattered settlements. In scattered settlements, houses are few and far from each other. Generally, such settlements are found in the areas of high relief, dense forest, grasslands, hot deserts, and extensive agricultural lands. You can see figure 10.5 here of scattered settlements far away from each other. So, what are the characteristics of scattered settlements? First, distance between scattered settlements can be clearly seen. Second, these settlements have limited populations as in small hamlets. For example, they are mostly called as pada, wadi, etc. Facilities and services in these settlements are not adequate. Means not all facilities are available here. As these settlements are close to nature, they are free from pollution. So this is an advantage. They depend on the centrally located villages for their day-to-day requirements. So there is a marketplace somewhere in the centrally located village and they have to go there for meeting their daily requirements. So this is all about scattered settlements. Now next we shall learn about nucleated settlements. These settlements are generally close to water sources like brooks, rivulets, rivers, lakes, reservoirs, etc. In the deserts of Rajasthan, we find nucleated settlements where near assured sources of water. Means wherever there is water available, we will see such type of settlements. Fertile plains, transport hubs, and mining centers, commercial centers often lead to the development of this type of settlement. Besides these reasons, defense, health, education, and other social and religious factors can also give rise to nucleated settlements. So, there are many advantages of staying in nucleated settlements. That's why most of the settlements arise in this type of settlement. What are the characteristics? Let's see the characteristics of nucleated settlements. In these settlements, houses are close together. Social services are available in these settlements. As these settlements develop in certain places over certain periods of time, they attain particular shapes. Roads are narrow in the old parts of these settlements. People from different castes, religions, races, and ideologies live together in these settlements and hence they have a better social life. So you will see mostly in nucleated type of settlements, people live in large numbers. Next, we shall see about linear settlements. Linear settlements are seen along roads, railways, rivers, seacoast, and in foothill regions, etc. These type of settlements are narrow in shape and they spread along a straight line. So what makes linear settlements different from the other settlements? That these types of settlements are only mostly seen like in a straight line along or spreading along a roadside. Now let's see the characteristics. Houses in these settlements are along a single line. As the settlement grows in the course of time, multiple lines emerge. As you see in the picture, there can be multiple lines. Roads are parallel to each other. Besides houses, some shops can be seen too. These settlements grow along with the roads. For example, such settlements are found along the coastal tracks, major rivers, and national or state highways in a country. So, this way, we have completed the chapter Human Settlements. Do read the textbook for a better understanding. Stay safe, keep learning, and thank you.